Joining us now, New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. So Abrego Garcia has become sort of a cause celeb on the Democrat side. What do you think about that, Congressman?
I just feel like saying, really? Seriously? I mean, you're really telling me this? They didn't go and visit people who were murdered, who were mutilated, who lost family members, all to illegals. They didn't visit them. They didn't feel bad for them. They didn't care for them. They don't care about uniquely American issues and Americans that are under the gun. How about visiting some of our veterans that have done so much and are still having problems and not getting the help they need in America sometimes? Maybe they're the people you should visit. To visit individuals using taxpayer dollars, by the way, Mr. and Mrs. America, listen out there, it's your tax dollars that are flying them out there for some kind of meeting that they have with this individual who, as at the very best, questionable, at the very best, doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It's not right. It truly is profoundly disturbing. It's beyond my understanding. I think it's beyond most Americans' understanding.
As you're speaking, we're looking at pictures of Senator Chris Van Hollen meeting with Abrego Garcia. When you hear Jasmine Crockett say that Abrego Garcia is less of a criminal than the person occupying the White House, how do you answer your fellow member of Congress?
Well, you know, I know Jasmine Crockett. She is the ranking member on the committee in which I'm chair, which is oversight in the Judiciary Committee, and she has unique points of view. If I were Ms. Crockett, in that case, Congresswoman Crockett, I think visit the people in your district, visit the people who are challenged in their lives to say there's so many good things we can do with our time as members of Congress, which people really appreciate, but we're visiting criminals, potential criminals, outright criminals, possibly terrorists in some case, where they are defending them, fighting for them. Hey, I'm American, man. I'm for Americans. I don't really get this. This goes under the category, you just can't believe it. It just can't
There
be
is
real.
a protest going under. There's a protest underway outside the White House right now. I believe it is part of the Abrego Garcia event. You can see that underway now live. There's also a protest underway in Bryant Park in New York City. Somehow this guy's deportation has touched a nerve, and there are thousands of Americans, maybe millions of Americans, who think he ought to be returned to this country. What do you say to the people who believe that?
I don't know that there are millions of Americans who think that, but there certainly are some Americans, and it's their right. We're a free country. I think it's crazy. I think when hardworking Americans look at this and wonder why you would want to return somebody to the country who is questionable at best, who is dangerous at worst, who could possibly hurt our children, our families, involved with gangs, obviously had domestic abuse, that's the person you want to make sure is in America. Those are the people that you're defending. I can't believe they're doing that. It's disturbing. I'm telling you, John, half those people who are yelling, screaming out there have no idea what they're yelling and screaming about. They don't really even know, just like when they were, supportive of Hamas, who were committed atrocities in the Mideast, and there were spoiled college kids running around supporting Hamas and saying that was a good thing. They just want to protest. I think there's so much better use of our time. Help the families who have been victims. Help the police officers and their families who've literally lost their lives in some cases. Come on, that's what we should be doing as Americans. Make America stronger, better. That's what we should be doing. This is non-productive, it's hurtful, but it really shows the difference in American politics today between where the Republican Party is at and where the Democratic Party is at, and it's starkly different. One believes in America first, one believes in America last.
Let's turn our attention to Vladimir Putin. He has called for a 30-hour ceasefire in Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, says, how about 30 days? What do you think about Putin's move? Is it cynical?
Look, you can say what you think, and certainly maybe it's somewhat cynical, but you know what? If I was Zelensky, whether it's 30 hours, 30 days, 30 weeks, it's a ceasefire. Lives are going to be saved. It is the Easter season, the holiest season of the year for Ukrainians and for Russians. And I think that's something we should do. Let's see where we go from there. Let's see where we grow from there. Let's try to get this thing going. We want to end this conflict. We want to stop the loss of life, the destruction, the hate, and the horror. But here's the deal. America's growing tired. We've put in over $1/5 trillion into this. This is not our war. This is not our gig. And, Zelensky better get with it. Give it a shot. If Russia isn't good to their word, certainly then Ukraine will deal with it. But give them a chance. Go for it. Let's get started. Maybe it'll lead somewhere.
One of the other controversies raging in the world right now is DOGE and the cuts that the Department of Government Efficiency is asking for from federal departments. We can put some of them on the screen, some of the more interesting spending items that DOGE has found. What do you think of the work they're doing right now?
Interesting is a good word. There's a few things that I was concerned in some cases where they used a sledgehammer rather than a scalpel, but in most cases, they've done good work. Let me tell you, again, let's really think about what the average American breaking his back, paying more and more for taxes, paying more and more for everything, quite frankly, and then they hear that we're paying for transgender opera in Colombia. I don't even know what the hell transgender opera is, but whatever it is, we're paying for it. We're paying for condoms for other countries. We're paying for Sesame Street in Iraq. We're paying for surgeries and treatments to make monkeys transgender or trans monkeys. Come on again. People have a lot of challenges and difficulties in their life in America. Let's take care of Americans. You know what I believe in? If you're going to spend money, let's make sure that we don't tax people that get Social Security anymore. Let's not have taxes on tips. If there are redundancies, now, there are good people that work in the federal government. There are.
Absolutely.
There really are some good people. A lot of them. But for some of these redundancies and some folks that don't show up to work, that aren't doing their job, they're not the majority, but they're there. We need to deal with that. And certainly the waste of money that goes around the world. And you know what, John? Here's the deal. If we're spending money on stuff like that, we're not spending money on Americans, which is where we should be spending it. We're not spending money to keep us safe. We're not spending money to secure our borders, take care of our veterans, take care of our seniors, take care of our disabled. Is spending money on that, or it's spending money on America? I believe in America first, once again.
And we're borrowing that money from China primarily to spend those kinds of dollars. Congressman Jeff Van Drew, Republican of New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.